Hello everyone. I just want to come and make a little bit video as an update. I made a couple videos ago, or pretty much the last video I made was in regards to officers versus enlisted, and I want to kind of make this video just kind of update. I'm just trying out my new glasses. It doesn't have anything, it doesn't have any lens. It's a smart glass. It has a microphone on it, so I just kind of want to test out the audio quality. Maybe it's a little bit better than my regular phone. But I'm just gonna try to make this video short. It does trying to make it less than 5 minutes. But this video is kind of a second part to that video that I made. Literally, like the day after I made that video, something happened at my unit, and I already left at that time. Being an officer, and I just kind of when I during that last video, I did say that being an officer is you don't have people coming into your social media trying to get things like when I wasn't enlisted. And that happened to me, and I just kind of want to make an update because it did happen again. Now, what happened? If you kind of follow me for quite a bit, people in when I was in the Air Force, when I was enlisted, they got really upset with me that I was able to go to Thailand, translate, and it caused a lot of jealousy. So in order to kind of fight with their envy and whatnot, they turned to discrimination and they went into my social media and found some YouTube videos to get me on and try to give me an Article 15, which didn't happen. Because long story short, there's a whole other video. Go check it there. In when I was an officer and when I made that officer toward the end of my officer career, I kind of made that video stating that hello, I had to go and grab my charger because my phone just died. So there's a little bit cut there. I'm in a new location. So I'm charging my phone right now and making this video. So when the phone cut out, I was explaining that when I was enlisted, people went into my social media to try to get me on something, right? So because they were envious of what I had, they went into my YouTube video where I was making military video on how to join the military, what life in the military was like. So so they went and they found the clause where the Social Media Act and state that I didn't get permission from the Office of Public Affairs to be able to make Air Force or military related video, and they tried to kind of get me on that. Now, of course, if you go into any YouTube channel for military people who are still serving in the military, there's a bunch of social media on the military, and I always keep people's name out of or the base. I'm always in civilian uniform. I'm never in military uniform speaking. So so what they're trying to do is something that's very petty. And I don't think that people are inherently that I work with are inherently racist or discriminatory. I think because of envy and seeing that I'm able to do all these different things. And of course, I hear things like, "Oh man, what's so special about being able to speak some Ching Chong language to go to these type of country?" And it's just one of those things that it does add to the envy, and then that envy turn into discrimination. I don't think as a person they're prone to racism by themselves, right? So but what do I want to talk about in this video was that when it cut off, I was trying to explain that in the video that I made before this one, I explained that being an officer, that those type of thing doesn't happen. It only happens in enlisted, blah blah blah. And I want to kind of explain that as I made that video, literally the day after I made that video, I posted it way after because I came back to Virginia and all those things. So I posted it anyway, even though I did have something. And let me kind of talk to you about the scenario, and I want to keep this short. The scenario that happened was that when I went to when I was in the commission corps and whatnot, that I was a health physics officer or health and safety officer in radiation safety. So I went and I shut down a CT department over at one of the hospitals that we had in the Navajo Nation because it was set up in a way that was violating code, right? And I showed them the code and all these things, and I didn't shut them down personally. I made recommendation to my commander, and she was the one who shut them down, right? And the reason for that was that it was just not safe for the workers to be there because it was not set up in a way that had any type of safety checks done. They don't have any of the safety check. They didn't have any of the geometry and all the things that they're supposed to do by law, right? So because of that, I was like, okay, you need to get it done, and here what happens. Literally after I already left the Corps, like literally the day after I was flying back from New Mexico back to Virginia, I got a call or a text on the plane because I had Wi-Fi on the plane. So I got the Wi-Fi, the internet text, and the text from one of my coworkers was freaking out because the people in the Navajo in the hospital that I shut down the CT scan for, and these are high-ranking officers. These are captains and doctors and whatnot, right? So, and when I say captain, they're '06 Navy captain, right? Colonel rank, yeah, colonel rank. So I have doctors who are at the minimum major rank, so like a commander or lieutenant commander type rank, going through my social media trying to find anything to discredit me. And this is what I want to kind of talk about was that no matter how high you go in rank and you think, or you're in a sphere where you're not around a bunch of hillbillies, hicks anymore, but blue collar, you're in the sphere of like white collar, high educated doctors. I had doctors, literally doctors, going into my social media trying to, like, and when I say social media, I don't mean YouTube. They didn't find it, they found my Facebook, and they were going through my Facebook, going through like pictures that I had taken at these hospital, and they were trying to like get me on like the regulations that, like, I had one pictures, and I don't know if I can bring it on the screen or not, where I was just kind of sitting at my office at my desk, and I was reading one of the reports and just kind of looking professional, right? I was in ties and stuff, so there's nothing, and the background was the wall, but they were trying to get me on, well, you can't take pictures inside the hospital type deal, which other people have done, right? So they're trying to get me on things because they were so pissed off. And what I'm trying to say is that if you come in and you act like an idiot and you don't get into people's way, they're going to let you go. Like, you can do whatever they want unless until something hit the wall, and someone does get things or sue, then you get in trouble, right? But when you come in, and I was by the code, I read them the code. I was like this, but I shut down the CT, which caused a lot of problem there because they had a bunch of patients and stuff like that that needed CT, but it was not set up in a way that was safe for the workers. That caused a lot. And if you want to know how to piss off a bunch of officer, a bunch of high-ranking senior officer, is making their life hard, right? And that's what I did because, like, that was my job, right? I made their life hard, so they come to me to try to discredit me, trying to get me on anything, right? And this is kind of what you need to kind of learn is, if in the military or and in life, but in the military, if you cause too much wave, you make too much of a wave. And I was doing that when I was enlisted because I was making too much wave. I was getting requested to go to Pentagon every single week, like every single day. I was getting requested to go to Pentagon, White House, translate, because there's just nobody in the military that can speak Thai fluently. It's a very difficult language to find, and people who can speak Thai national, they tend to not want to join the United States military, right? Just like just the way it works. Asian people tend to not be in the military. It's very low percentage, right? In the military, they tend to go into the college sphere more. So being there and being requested and getting people envious, I was making too much wave, and then they try to discredit me by going into my social media and eventually finding my YouTube channel, which barely get any traffic at all, right? People don't just find those YouTube videos randomly. You have to go with a purpose to find it. And they found it absolutely right when I was getting all these requested. Like I had my YouTube video channel up for 10 years. Ever since I joined basic training, I was making videos, if you can go back, of me joining the military and what do I need to pack and whatnot, right? And over here, when I went to, and I was an officer and I had a rank of O1 and an authority of O1, um, I made too much splash by, shutting down the CT room because it was not to safety standards, and it was dangerous because you're messing with radiation that can cause cancer or risk that could show up later in their life, right? And I shut down their CT room because they didn't put it in correctly. Um, it caused too much wave and too much problem for the hire. So they tried to, instead of arguing with the code and the regulations, they try to go into other places to try to get me in trouble for things that has nothing to do with what they're upset with me about, right? And it is just what it is. It is just the military. No matter what rank you are, even enlisted or officer, if you make too many splashes, right, they're going to try, and even if you're doing the right thing, they're going to try to discredit you and trying to get you in every single thing that they can. And this is why when you're an officer, they kind of teach you that keep your social media squeaky clean. Don't, something like that, because when you make too many splashes, even your subordinates, they're trying to get you in anything, and they're trying to get you because they're mad at you at one thing, they try to get you in something else, right? Trying to ruin you in other ways, and that's what I have experienced, right? But yeah, they went to my Facebook and they got me. They tried to get me on, which my chain of command was like, no, that they weren't having any of that. They were like, if you are questioning his credential, then he can send you his master's degree in health physics, and you can debate on that because he does have the credentials to do what he needs to do. Um, but yeah, I was lucky that my leadership in my chain was there to protect me. But I was not so lucky when I was enlisted. My chain of command was the one who wanted to get me because they were so jealous of my success, right, and my opportunity and whatnot. All right, so that's all I have. It's getting pretty long now, 12 minutes, and I'm going to kind of leave it there. And if you have any type of same experience, if you agree or disagree with me, the story is a bit of a long story with the enlisted and the officer. So if there's some confusion, you can ask me in the comment below. If you have any experience the same way, please let me know. I know, like in the military, they try to they talk about social media so much. They're so afraid of social media. But yeah, that's just kind of my experience, and I don't know if you guys have the same experience. All right, bye.